Good Thursday evening. Man, I've really conditioned myself, Dave, to say Monday evening right there. That was almost a choke up for me right there. But we have had a busy whirlwind since last we joined you on United Sessions. I'm Lucas Cash. He's David Carl. And I'm very curious. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Just well, we're coming off the high of a couple back-to-back wins, which is great. I think it was really great to get back in New Mexico to be playing games at home again. I think that made all the difference in the world for us, and excited now to take that momentum on the road. Got San Antonio coming up on Wednesday, so I'm feeling good.
I don't think Coach would mind me sharing this story. He was in office, I believe, the Tuesday after the win, and we were just having a quick chat. And I said, the 3 losses in a row, those stung. That hurt. But I'll tell you, a great solve for the soul was 2 wins in a row. And he smiled at me and he said, it's even better. I said, is it 3 wins? And he was like, you know it, buddy. So you're actually headed out to San Antonio, hitting the open road once again, as you're known to do. What are you looking forward to most out there?
Hopefully getting a win, obviously. That's first and foremost. But, I went to a game in San Antonio in 2019. And while the result wasn't necessarily favorable for us, it was a great experience. Really got to know some of the folks over at the Musketeers. They have a great little tailgate that's actually underneath a bridge. It's very different than any other tailgate I've been to. So I'm going to go check that out, hopefully hang out with them a little bit again. And again, hopefully get a positive result out there. It'd be nice to get 3 points on the road.
Excellent. Yeah. And you guys are going to do some high-level administrative league meetings. You're going to change the fabric of USL soccer and in smoky cigar-filled rooms. And
if I'm involved in any sort of fabric changing, then we're all in trouble.
Hey, let's talk about tonight. We've got a good one. We've been gone a long time, so we wanted to make sure this was an absolute banger. So talk about our guests tonight, including Mr. Producer Dill.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are excited to welcome on New Mexico United's own Mr. Alex Touche. He is
Touche.
You gonna go ahead? Go ahead.
No, I can't actually say the next line because neither one of them is better than the other one. They're both playing outstandingly right now. So the entire chance a farce.
Well, anyway, looking forward rather to having Alex on. It's the first time we have had the opportunity to have him on the podcast. Really excited to do so. Lots of stuff to talk about, including, he's a New Mexico boy. So that's always exciting to have a New Mexico native on who just happens to play for the club that we love. And I want to talk to him about making his pro debut earlier this year, among lots of other things. And then obviously we're going to be welcoming on producer Dylan because he's got a tie to Touche as well, doesn't he, Lucas?
Yeah. We're going to unpack that. They actually, one of Alex's funniest traits as a player is he is the first New Mexico United player to previously serve as an intern for the organization. And so we'll talk a little bit.
Dylan's going to be the second.
Yes, yeah. Dylan is getting ready for open trials in 2022. He's been working on.
He's a striker, man.
Absolutely.
He's gonna battle with Kalen Ryden for headers. It's gonna be great.
He's got a finisher's heart and he's got that great head of hair, but he always does so much great work in the background. We do like people to get to know him. So yeah, we're going to chat with these amazing people, but let's talk a little bit of rate, subscribe, review, share.
Do those things.
Send carrier pigeons.
Yeah, especially the carrier pigeons. But yeah, when you rate, subscribe, share, download all those things, it really helps us get to more people. And that's the goal, right? We talk community. We want to get the word about New Mexico out into the public and to people who otherwise might not hear it. When you give us a positive rating or when you download it, means more people are hearing what we do. It gets us higher on those charts. And again, more people hear about the incredible things that are happening here in New Mexico, both in the soccer realm and in the arts and in the community and all the things that are important to all of us. So if you could do those things for us, it would be really helpful and we'd appreciate it.
Well said, my friend. Well said. I'm excited to talk to Alex. I'm excited to make a little bit of fun of Dylan. We'll catch you guys on the other side of the break.
We love you, Dylan.
In New Mexico, we know true love, true beauty, true adventure, true color, and true culture. Because we are truly hot, truly unique, truly rich, and truly home to the greatest stories and heroes, caverns and mountains, music and dancing, sunrises and sunsets. Home to the artists, the warriors, and the multi-generational, multiracial, all-inclusive family that we call the United. It's true, the black and yellow, this shield, these people, these scenes. This is New Mexico United, and New Mexico United is New Mexico True.
Dave, do you know what else is New Mexico True?
Alex Touche.
That's right. Don't let the British accent fool you, folks. Alex Touche is as New Mexican as balloons and green chili and a beautiful watermelon sunset. Alex, how the heck are you?
Doing great, Lucas. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to chat with you guys.
Oh, we have a lot to chat about. You have a deep and storied history with this club. And I kind of want to start a little bit before your internship because
I want to start by introducing Dylan as well because he's
everybody
also a
knows
guest.
Dylan.
No. We're introducing our guests. Even though he's a producer, Dylan is also a guest on this show. Dylan, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, it's fun to be back.
Yeah, all right. Now
it sounds like you're having a barrel of fun, my friend.
This is great.
Oh,
It's
man.
awesome.
Bro, the thing I hold on to, Dylan, is you are someone's vibe. You are someone's favorite reason for watching this or listening to this podcast. So thank you so much for being
I
here.
was told that by a fan, and that was weird to hear.
Yeah,
So,
that was no, it wasn't just any fan. That was Mr. Brandon Ortega of KOB.
Yeah.
He is your biggest fan, man. So
Yeah.
that's an honor.
It's strange. Hi,
Yeah, and
Cassandra.
Cassandra said hi now, and there's no greater compliment than that.
That's the official welcome.
Yes, that's it. That's how
That's
you know
right.
you're in. Alex, before I was so rudely interrupted, rudely skipping over Dylan, I was asking you about your sort of history with Albuquerque soccer. Because I think a really, really cool thing is the high school you played for was absolutely dominant and was led by an absolutely legendary coach. Can you talk a little bit about your time at the academy?
Yeah, definitely. So I started at academy in 6th grade, so we didn't have a soccer team back then. But then starting in 9th grade, I started playing for the varsity men's team, which is led by Coach Laney Colick, who has done an amazing job out of the academy. She took us, my time there, to 4 straight state finals, which is pretty unheard of. And then even since then has gone on to win 2 more, I believe, in 3 finals. And so she's done an amazing job. She was instrumental in my development as a player, my brother's development as a player, and just really a great woman overall. And so I owe a lot of gratitude and a lot of where I am to her.
And Lucas mentioned this toward the top of the show. The accent, Alex. Obviously, you are as New Mexican as green chili and balloons, but that accent is not New Mexican. Why is it that you have an English accent, my friend?
So I lived in England until I was 9 years old and then moved over here. So my dad's English, my mom's from Albuquerque, grew up here. And so I have a weird split. Nowadays, people think I'm kind of Australian because it sounds American.
I can see that. I can actually see that. That's kind of the
what I get
in-between.
the most. And so it normally takes a few minutes for people to realize, oh, something like you're from somewhere that's not Albuquerque.
Can you do me a favor, Alex? Can you say, that's not a knife?
That's not a knife.
Yeah, you're Australian.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this,
Yeah.
but you were born and raised in Australia.
Yeah.
Sydney.
Yeah. No, we've found you've cracked the code, Alex. The Australian accent is literally just the Albuquerque accent mixed with a British accent.
Yeah.
Humans are crazy. Humans are absolutely crazy. So you come over, you do a little time at Academy, and then you actually did some time with what was called PDL at the time, but USL League Two's Albuquerque Soul. What did you learn throughout that experience? You got to play with your brother a little bit. You got to play with some legendary coaches and players, and the Soul was really where I cut my teeth loving soccer.
Yeah, Albuquerque Soul is an amazing experience. I was lucky enough to actually start my junior year of high school playing under Matt Gordon, who was also my club coach at the time. And that was a great experience to kind of throw me into the lines. Then I think we had a few injuries, and I started at center back right away. which for me, I'd never really played with older players or kind of in an environment where I felt almost out of my depth, and so I think that was a really good learning experience for me, especially ahead of college. And then I came back once I had started in college for 2 summers to come play for the Soul, which that was also a great experience. Kind of towards the end, we had a lot of young players, but neatly enough, I got to play with a few of the academy players now who were Rush players at the time. So I played with Andres, Lamar, and a couple other players. So that was fun to meet them through that as well.
Do you remember, Alex? I don't remember if it was the last season of the Soul or the second to last season. I was doing PA. I did for the last 2 seasons for the Soul. And the first time that season that you came on, I think it was in the first game, I introduced, starting at center back for your Albuquerque Soul, Alex Touche.
I get that all the time, so
Yeah.
I don't actually remember that.
Thank you for making me feel better.
People, when I meet them for the first time, that's how I pronounce it. I don't mind; it doesn't bother me at all. There is no accent, so.
There's no accent. I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, not all of us can study at Wharton School of Business, Alex, okay? Some of us don't know that accents actually play a part and are not something to just be ignored in your Duolingo lessons. So
I went to a state college, my dude.
Yeah, I was waiting for Lucas to bring that one up.
That's bound to happen eventually.
It's going to happen multiple more times, too.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
It's the first of many. What's the weirdest pronunciation you've heard of it?
Well, so the weirdest pronunciation is actually what it used to be before Touche, which is Touche.
That's
Can you
cool.
not hawk loogies on our podcast, please?
Yeah, and it was actually spelt like touch, but then touch is kind of a weird last name, and so they added an E to the end to kind of make it more. It sounds French, so now everyone thinks I'm French.
Wait. You said they added. Who's they? Who's the they that added an E onto that?
Yeah. I want to meet these villains.
Ancestor, great grandparents.
Got it.
Because I'm not going to lie to you, Alexander Touch is a sneaky, sultry, and awesome name for a defender.
Oh no,
Seriously,
I was thinking it's more like a lounge singer. Hey, baby, I'm Alex Touch. Pretty good.
Or
Yeah, that's
masseuse.
what we're trying to avoid.
Okay, well, that's enough of that. Tell us about what you did in college besides like ace everything and be a super genius like everyone in your family.
I mean, really, between school and soccer, was my main focus. But I was lucky enough to go to Penn, which is in the great city of Philadelphia.
Philly.
Loved my time out there. It's a city definitely worth exploring if you haven't been out there. Food is amazing. I'm a big foodie, so I loved all that. And then the program that I got to play under I was lucky to have a great coach in Brian Gill, who had just come from Georgetown, coaching under Brian Weiss. And we started off at we won 3 games my first year, but then my last year we came second in the Ivy League. So we were able to turn it around a little bit. So I loved my 3 years there.
And it was an incredible 3 years, again, that turnaround for the team. But I'm going to brag about you for a little bit. You're an all Ivy League defender while you're there as well. You're the Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year while you're there. How incredible of an honor is that? And I know you, Alex, and you're just going to defer to your teammates. But talk a little bit about kind of what that meant to you to earn that.
Yeah, our coach definitely deserves a lot of credit for that because he was very disciplined defensively. We didn't have necessarily the most talent at first, and so we really set the defensive foundations. Like, we're not going to get beat. My sophomore year, I think we went to overtime about 7 or 8 times in the season because it was 0-0, and so we lacked that threat in the attack. I think we only scored 12 goals that season. I was lucky enough to score 5 of them. And so we were really upset.
Humble brag. Hold on.
Dang.
Okay. And then anyway, so it was actually weird because I thought I had a better season my sophomore season than junior season, even though I ended up getting the Ivy League Player of the Year my junior season.
So you gave up 5 goals for the entire season, you said?
No. I scored 5 goals.
You scored 5 goals. Okay.
We gave
5
up,
of 12.
I think, 14 goals.
All right. So you gave up
in
14 goals
15
last night. That's actually a decent number for the comparison I'm about to make. We played an indoor soccer game last night. We have an indoor soccer team, the front office, and we gave up again. Some goals count as double, but we gave up 15 last night.
How do goals count as double?
So the way that they do it over at Copper is male goals count as 1 and female goals count as 2, which I don't agree with, by the way. That's neither here nor there. But
Sounds like a bad policy.
It's a bad policy. But we gave up 15, so we gave up more in one game than you gave up in a season. And yes, I was the goalkeeper.
I mean, this really seems like a situation that they don't know what actually goes on in American soccer, that forever and since the beginning of time, women have been better at it. Like
Yes.
that rule is in counter opposition to American soccer culture.
Yeah.
Dylan, that was a darn good question there, buddy. And as much as everyone enjoys watching you sort of undulate around in your chair, what do you have for Alex Touche?
Oh, I wanted to know about the Euros.
Oh, he goes right there. Okay.
Poor.
Hit
Jeez.
it with love.
Dylan, you're out.
Man, yeah, still not over that one. I mean, I think Brucey actually, so I'm roommates with Brucey, and so it was a sad apartment on Sunday evening. He got over it quicker than I did. I woke up Monday kind of down in the dumps, and he's like, mate, it's game day. Come on. We're on to the Premier League now. Which
You guys seem to shape up pretty well for game day, though.
Yeah, exactly. And so it still hurts. I don't know. I think definitely it's our best showing in a long time, and so I was really happy with that. But
No, the team was incredible, man. I mean,
It really was.
a couple managerial mistakes, in my opinion, in the final. And I know people aren't here to listen to us talk about Euro. But
Yeah,
Bukayo Saka, who I love, Bukayo Saka is literally my favorite player in soccer. He should not have been taking the 5th pen in that situation. He's 19. He's never taken a professional penalty in his life. So it was not smart. But again, people aren't here to necessarily hear us talk about the Euro.
yeah, I mean, I love Saka as well. It's a shame that he's going to play for that club for a long time because.
You mean the famous Arsenal, the only club to ever go unbeaten?
We have a 4-part representation here of people who support different groups. Alex, do you remember from your time, transitioning into the next question about internship?
Yep.
Do you remember your time with Dylan Cuellar, and how much did you despise him purely based on the fact that he was a Manchester City fan?
No, Man City is probably the team I respect the most in the league, just because
I don't even respect them.
Man City?
I love watching them play, and I think, I mean, obviously they have a lot of Middle Eastern money, but the City group is doing a pretty cool thing. Like it's very, very well managed. But no, I think my internship with Dylan. So I was there the year before Dylan, and then next year had Dylan there, and he made it a lot more fun. Kind of, we were able to talk about kind of data analytics and all that sort of thing, which was really interesting. I still remember Dylan. Do you remember? So I was playing Football Manager one day, and Dylan looked to me and he's like, I really want you to test out a formation. And I can't quite remember the formation. Do you remember what it was, Dylan?
3-3-3-1.
3-3-3-1. Yeah.
There's no width.
I remembered it was a little crazy.
If they exploit the wings, you're done. What do you do there?
I don't know. It's the test.
This is the problem of analytics, okay? And for those of you just now tuning in, we're getting deep, all right? And I'm shuddering at the number of viewers we're losing. Please come back. This is valuable conversation.
Actually, we've gained viewers, so.
But this is the problem with
This
the
is an analytics
culture.
podcast.
Yeah, I love analytics, Dill. I really do. But oftentimes I have found with you, you are so focused on the tree that you miss the forest, right? You get like so hooked in on that one data analytic thing that you're like, look at this 3-3-1. I've run like 100 statistical models on it. It can't be beaten. And it's the reason that data could never be, I'm sorry. I'm not going to make that Star Trek reference. I'm going to stop right there. It's the reason that creative people often thrive against logical people.
I mean, you go ahead and run a 3-3-3-1 against Josh Suggs and Daniel Bruce on the wings and tell me how that goes.
I will.
Dylan's like, I will. I'll become an evil villain. I'll become the coach of El Paso Locomotive FC, and I will test out my 3-3-1.
I mean, it wouldn't exactly be evil if it didn't work out.
That's true. I mean, if you want to become the manager of El Paso Locomotive FC and intentionally lose games against us, you're just undercover at that point.
Yeah, deeply undercover. I'll be happy for that.
That seems non-sporting, Dave. I don't know about that. I think it's amazing from a political Machiavellian standpoint, but I think from the point of sporting, that's not really in the spirit of that game. Alex, you are someone who actually had an amazing hand in the first international game we ever hosted. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you came up with the ticket model for that, correct? Which is a pretty crazy thing for an intern to get to do, that Peter just comes to you. He inherently trusts you as this kid in college, and you come up with this quite amazing model.
Yeah, we definitely had a fair share of issues, to say the least. But I came up with the initial model, and then it evolved from there. But no, the Cardiff friendly was an amazing experience. It was kind of I was only there for about a month, and so that's how my internship culminated. And it was a great way. I got to meet Neil Warnock, got to meet a bunch of the Cardiff players, and actually have good conversations with them. And so I think that was a really neat part of that summer, definitely.
I remember when Cardiff was in town. I think it was the night before the match. I think you were at this, Alex. I think, Lucas, you were there too. We had a dinner with the Cardiff players and our players and all of that kind of stuff. And I got to go as a fan, which was really fun. And the Cardiff players did what a lot of teams do, and they bring on their rookies, their new players, and make them stand up on a chair and sing a song. And, that's embarrassing enough as it is, but to do it in front of another team,
yes,
and other fans, that was also a lot of fun. And Neil Warnock, by the way, super nice guy. When you're watching him on TV, you're always like, oh man, that guy looks really mean. Super friendly, like really nice.
Really good guy.
Yeah.
Who's the meanest looking coach or
Neil
manager?
Warnock.
Who's the one who looks most like a villain? Because he has a strong case for.
Oh no, it's
Sam
Sam Allardyce.
Sorry, is pretty. He's up there.
Oh yeah.
Sam Allardyce looks like he would just kill your whole family and not think about it twice.
He's definitely got those, like, I run my family and I protect my family vibes, and like, yeah, I would not cross Big Sam.
No, absolutely not.
I don't know that I'd cross any of them, honestly, though. I don't know what my end game in that conversation was. Like, hey, you're the biggest weenie ever. Like, who do you think you could have a chance against?
Jurgen would probably just give you a hug and say, "Thank you."
It'll be all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have any problem crossing Jose Mourinho. I mean, he's small. It wouldn't bother me at all.
I don't know, man. He's crazy. Like he goes to that vein of like size is one thing, but just craziness is another.
Yeah, but he's small. He coaches small clubs, that kind of thing. So.
Alex, two-pronged question. What is it like to be a teammate of Daniel Bruce's and be a roommate of Daniel Bruce's?
Yeah.
Well, both of them have a very similar answer, which is he is one of the best lads that I've ever had the privilege of knowing. The way he lives his life, the way he trains is the same. I mean, he gives his all the time. He's just a super open and compassionate person. And so I've gotten super lucky. I don't know how I ended up with him as my roommate. He kind of handpicked me, which I felt very chuffed about. But I had no idea how lucky I was getting when that happened. So it's been a great experience. The apartment's lovely. We've definitely been set up well by Brandon Morris and Pete and Troy and everyone.
Well, you're talking about things that you've been honored to do or be part of since you became a member of New Mexico United. I think probably high on that list is jogging next to me at Good Blokes Jogging for a while. What was that experience like? How incredible was that for you?
Use as much detail as necessary.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I mean, I think I was competing against one of the best athletes that I've ever had the joy of competing against. Sadly, I did pull away at the end, but he gave me a good run for my money. So.
To be fair, if I can correct you just briefly, you didn't pull away as much as I nearly passed out.
There was distance between us.
there certainly was. I would also like to point out that jogging with us as well for the majority of the time and finishing well ahead of me was Devin Sandoval with his daughter on his shoulders. So So there's that. Check out Good Blokes Jogging, everybody. You can either be an incredible athlete like Alex Touche and Devin Sandoval and go jogging, or you can be the opposite of that.
Who's still a good bloke? You're still a good bloke, okay?
I am a good bloke. I'm just a little bit
That's all
rounder.
that matters.
There's a big windshear. We've often talked about our foreheads. Like, you just need to understand, like, we catch a lot of wind resistance with this. So we just need to know our expectations.
That's
Alex.
I'll blame that. That's fine. I'll take that.
Alex, on United sessions, we are known to not necessarily shy away from being proud of our mothers. We have had our mothers on the podcast before. We think they are incredible human beings. We did not bring them on as a joke. We brought them on because they were incredible and they were awesome guests.
And Dylan's mother has gotten mad at you.
I'm sorry, what?
And Dylan's mother has gotten mad at you.
Yes, even though she is still my best friend, and I cannot wait until we get together for a little bit of vino and a little bit of camaraderie. Claire, it's just around the corner. But back to Alex's mom. Not to be mistaken with the pop star slash, what is it? It's not American, The Voice judge. Your mom, Alicia Keys, is one of the rock stars of New Mexico. She is our Secretary of Economic Development. She was instrumental in bringing a facility that just shot a bunch of people into space. Like, this is a great opportunity, Alex. Like, bank this one for Mother's Day and then just put it on a video file and send it to her as an email. Talk about how amazing it was being raised by this woman.
Yeah, she is an incredible woman. I mean, I'm still astounded by what she's been able to accomplish in the past few years working for the city and the state. You can see the impact that she's made just looking around with Netflix, NBC Universal, and then now it's Virgin Galactic. Everything she's done, she's always given her all. She is, aside from being a great woman and amazing at what she does, she's an incredible mother. Always gave us everything that she could. And so I'm incredibly grateful to her for that. And I'm glad to be home now so that we can spend more time together and with all her side of the family as well. So.
Talk about a power family. You got a couple soccer players in there. You got a Secretary of Economic Development. Check you guys out. Touche family rocking it.
Yeah, the touches are not to be messed with.
Can't touch them. Want to change subject, Alex, real quick, over to you made your pro debut this year. Again, you come from Penn where you played 3 years. The senior season doesn't happen because of COVID. And you come here and you make your pro debut in a match that was frustrating, to say the least. But your first touch, Alex, your first career professional touch was, I'm going to say it. I know you're not going to say
It's
it.
on frame.
It was on frame, but that's not what I was going to say. It was essentially a goal, man. You got robbed. And you don't have to say this. I know you can't say this. There was a handball that was not called. But anyway.
Director of Communications of New Mexico United, ladies and gentlemen.
That's me. Go ahead.
Hey, you listen to me. If San Diego's allowed to put out a bunch of social media videos with curse words on it, you can call something as blatantly obvious as that. We have it on a million different replays.
That's right. But what was it like to make your pro debut in your home state in front of people you know and love in New Mexico? What was that like for you?
Man, it was surreal, honestly. It didn't happen how I thought it would. It was the 98th minute, and it was actually my first time even being in the 18 on the substitutes bench. But when I came in, just the energy that I felt, throughout the game, just being on the bench, I was kind of in awe of our fans, and we weren't even at full capacity at the time. But then when I came in, just the roar that I heard from the crowd, and then I think the next 3 minutes, I was just sprinting around like a headless chicken trying to get us the goal that we deserved. Which
That's my dog. Sorry.
Didn't quite happen in the end, but it was an amazing experience. And I've never played striker before, actually. Sometimes at Penn, I'd go up at the end just if we're chasing a goal, just not really by coach's orders, just to go up and try and get a goal. But I'd never been put on as a striker. And so I think that was really neat. And I had my opportunity. I wish I had roofed it in the back of the net, but not everything goes your way. I was devastated for about the next week, I just felt like I'd been mugged or something on the street. But I'm hoping I get another chance soon, and maybe I'll play my more traditional defensive role. But I've been training hard, and I'm ready whenever that time comes, whenever Troy needs me. And so I think we have an amazing group, and even just being in training and all that, it's been an incredible few months of playing. So.
Well, and I think Troy has proved this time and time again, just the way he approaches everything. There's not a single person in his 18 that he just has there for show. If you're in the 18, you better be ready to go. Like if it's time to get called upon. And so while I would love to see you out there, and there has been a strong groundswell amongst the social media community lobbying for more Alex playing time, I understand where you're at, and I understand what like an amazing dude you are, that you see how much you're getting out of this experience. Like the playing time will come when it needs to come and when coach deems it appropriate, but just that entire process is something that is incredible to watch you get to be a part of, man. You were an intern with us, and you would go out on afternoons and just train with the team. And I remember you would come back some days so salty, and you would just be like, I just got worked. Like you were so disappointed with yourself. And then some days you'd come back and you're like, I was holding my own out there. And just to watch like that progression of like you were working on a Cardiff ticketing plan and training, and now you are like a bona fide rostered member of this team that at any point we can get you in there. And I'll tell you what, I get to sit up in the PA booth, right? And you're my boy, man. You've been my boy for a long time. And so when I saw them stand you up, I bum rushed the PA announcer. I'm not even supposed to be like messing with the PA announcer anymore, but I bum rushed him, and I was like, you have to mention this is his pro debut in front of his hometown. And Bill Torres, there's not a better one in the business, man. He nailed that announcement, and that place shook.
Yeah, and I could feel that shaking. I mean, I was shaking as well, but yeah, the energy in the lab, it just stays in there, you know. It doesn't escape at all the way the stadium's built. And so I think, I mean, I'll never forget that night. And I think the turquoise kits as well made it even more memorable. I think those are the most beautiful kits that in the history of New Mexico, in my opinion. I'm obsessed with them, and I can't wait for us to wear them again. But yeah, it was a wonderful night.
That's awesome. Well, and speaking of excellent on-field performances for you, about a month or two ago, we had a skills challenge.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought it up.
Between the front office and players, everybody competing individually, where there were 4 stations. There was a crossbar challenge. There was a score from the corner of the box. There was a chip challenge where you had to get it over one small net and into the other. And then there was a passing challenge. So lots of folks competed from the front office and from the team.
For a great cause, mind you.
Yep. Everybody throws in $5 and the money goes to the Somos Unidos Foundation and the Micah Zero Foundation. Mr. Touche, you were the winner of that challenge. Is that the greatest honor of your career?
It was definitely a great honor, and I'm glad that I was able to help support Mikey's foundation. But I woke up that morning and I was like, I'm going to win this thing. And I just felt I had a good feeling about it. And I only missed one shot through all 4 drills. Coach actually made me wait about 3 or 4 minutes to see if anyone else would finish.
Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it
right now.
The whole thing only lasted
I'll use your native tongue. Controversy alert. Bro, why you got to be like that? You know that none of us are good. You saw how unathletic I am. Like, let me get one.
David was close. And you ended up barely losing, right, in the final.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on how you define barely, right? Quinn and I were the top 2 in the front office, but we had each finished 2, and we're on our 3rd when you finished all 4. So I don't know if that's barely, but we did okay.
Oh, you're right behind. Right.
Touche, you got to go slower next time, man. That's it. It may be
completely uncalled for, and I'm not going to give him a pass on this. He's a professional athlete. Okay, like I sit and I scroll on Twitter all day, and I gave you a menial amount of my hard-earned money to try and give it a go, and you just go out there and thrash me and you beat me up. Like I want you to feel bad. I don't want you
Well,
to have any
It was
gloating. I just
also
want you to
it
feel
was a bit
bad.
unfortunate because we were all warmed up and we just finished training.
Yeah, that's the only reason I
I did
lost.
some pretty
Yeah.
heavy hip flexor stretching while I was waiting for you guys to finish. Okay, like I felt like I was pretty warm. I just needed more time.
I did not stretch at all. I didn't stretch a little, like even a little bit.
I'm hoping we can have a round 2 at some point, and maybe we'll have a no running rule for the players.
Ooh.
Can I throw water balloons at you?
That seems fair.
Yeah, or even
I
just
mean-
kick balls at us.
I think a no running
That's too
rule
violent.
for the players would be helpful because I gave myself a no running rule. That's just kind of how I live my life. So yeah, I think that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Alex Mansfield has just texted us saying, "Can he get a question in?" He can't listen live, so excuse me momentarily while you guys ask the basketball question. I'm going to correspond with Alex.
Okay. Carlos asked, have you kept up with your basketball skills? Did you play basketball much?
Yeah, so Carlos was actually my 7th grade basketball coach.
Oh,
Him and
nice.
his dad out at Academy, and I haven't kept up with my skills much, but I was lucky enough to see him on the field actually after the game the other day, and we caught up a little. But yeah, my basketball skills, I've never been able to shoot, and so I'm the worst pickup player ever or like horse player or something because I can't make a shot to save my life. But
Hey,
I
if
do
Ben Simmons can make the NBA, you
defense, rebounds, passing. I rate myself for those.
can too. Nice.
Dylan, you tried to get in with that spicy Ben Simmons comment, but your timing was so.
No.
Come on, Dill. That's quality
What was the
content, man.
comment? Oh, Ben.
Oh, okay. Now here's a question. Dylan McMains asks if you kept up with your tennis ball in the net skills. I think he's kind of hating on you for tennis. I'm a tennis guy, man. Do you play?
I do. I love tennis. I play probably 3 times a year. Just get out and hit with some friends. But
Yeah.
I think if I didn't play soccer, I think that's the sport I would have gone for. I love the game. I love watching it. Federer is my all-time favorite.
Me too.
But even now, I mean, watching Wimbledon, both the women's and men's side, it was a joy to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Djokovic is crazy. Djokovic is crazy.
This comment right here, Carlos, I am so glad you're joining and hanging out with us. But like, I'm just going to pose this to you as a basketball guy. I'm a basketball guy too. Wouldn't Ben Wallace be the British Dennis Rodman? And then couldn't you just say like he's a new Ben Wallace? I get what you're saying. Did he have really loud hair when he was in high school and or did he date any superstars?
No, it's looked like this my whole life. There was no crazy hair, and there was no dating superstars.
Have
However,
you ever
I was tall. I did get a decent number of blocks, and I fouled out every game. So,
have you ever fought against fans at the Palace at Auburn Hills?
Yeah.
Are you Ron Artest? Alex, I really want to see you play basketball now. Now I think our next thing is that we are going to start a team. Yeah, Carlos, you'll be a part of this team as well. Alex will do the dirty work. I'll run point. Everyone else define their other roles.
I mean,
I have to talk to Troy about that, but
so you know somebody who is a decent basketball player is David Estrada as well. When we went to Zuni Pueblo to distribute backpacks and soccer balls to some of the youth soccer players out there, this is probably, I don't know, sometime late last year. They had a basketball court out there, and we had a whole kind of crew of us out there, and we decided we'll play a little game of knockout. And David was a little cocky, I think, and you know, I mean, I won, no big deal. I won the game. It's all I have to say.
That's just facts. All you're doing is reporting facts.
Yeah, no, there's no emotion here. It's just factually what happened.
He's saying that he's good, but you're better.
I'm not saying that. You can say that. You know, that's totally up to you. I'm just factually reporting what happened, Alex.
Dylan, ask me, hey, Lucas, do you have a David Estrada basketball story too?
Oh, Lucas, did you happen to have a basketball story about David Estrada too?
You're never going to believe this, Dill. Yes, I do.
What?
So him and I did a community appearance together. It was a wonderful appearance. It was one of our local schools, and David is just amazing to do this stuff. But we decided to go out and play some basketball. Now, as you guys may know, sometimes I wear some fairly flamboyant outfits. And on this specific day, it was a bit wintry. So I had worn...
Wintry? You really are leaning into the English thing.
I'm with Alex Touche. What am I going to
Good win
do,
streak.
David? Control myself like an adult?
I mean,
No.
it's very cheeky and ambitious.
So I had on a pair of, I believe, very thick red cords, a pair of combat boots, and a ridiculous over-the-top pea coat. And he was like, would you like to play some basketball with us? And I was like, why not? Like, I haven't been embarrassed in a good long time. And so I set my coat to the side. We start playing. I get humiliated by a couple of like fifth graders at most. This was an elementary school. And I noticed David is playing pretty tough against him, right? Like he's shaking him up a little bit. He's moving. He's not like missing shots on purpose. And I'm like, all right. So we're taking it to the next level on these youngsters. And so one of them gets on a fast break after stealing the ball from me. The only thing I can do is use my size advantage on a fifth grader and just whack that crap off the backboard like LeBron. And David Estrada looks at me like I'm like I did the worst possible thing ever. And I was just like, I just thought we were going hard, man. Like that's just the look of shame in his eyes. So that's my David Estrada basketball story.
Well, it's funny because he looks at you like that, like you've punched a kitten or something like that. But David Estrada is one of the most competitive people I've ever met in my life. And I love David to death. He plays on our indoor soccer team, which is a lot of fun, and he's obviously much better than all of us, than everybody. But and you would think, like, as somebody who is much better than everybody, that he might take it a little bit easy, and he does some of the time. But every once in a while, he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to go score a goal now. And when he wants to score a goal, he's scoring a goal, and it's incredible to watch. As somebody who is, again, I'm in goal, and I'm playing with a former MLS star, a former USL star, and it's just incredible to watch. It's really, really fun.
Alex, we have a question from another Alex who you've met. Alex Mansfield, our amazing red hat referee liaison and just all around great bloke in the soccer community. He can't listen live tonight, but he's going to catch the podcast later, so he's hoping to get your answer on this when he can catch it. He said, you're the youngest defender in the squad by a decent stretch, in a position where you can do your job right 99 times out of 100, yet have your performance defined by that one time you didn't. How do you mentally handle that kind of responsibility? Before you answer, Alex, just go ahead and write all of our questions because that's way better than anything else we've come up with.
Yeah, why are you actually asking insightful questions? We want to talk about
that's
basketball.
the next level question.
Yeah.
I'd say I think you just can't worry about the consequence. You have to go out there with the right attitude and right frame of mind and just focus in the moment, do everything that you can. If you make a mistake, obviously that's not ideal, but it happens. And then I think the right response is the key, and then how do you come back and do the next thing? I don't mean to pick on Kalen, but I think he's the perfect example. He wasn't happy with his performance on Friday, and then he came back Monday, and I thought he was the best player on the pitch, scored us his first goal of the season, and I think that's really the way you handle it. I mean, he's the perfect example.
Good point.
Excellent. So, Alex, please enjoy that. You're our boy, and we're always happy to do that
thank
for
you
you.
for the question, Al.
Yeah, could we stop with these insightful questions and insightful answers? This is not our brand.
You know what the perfect answer to insightful questions and insightful answers is, Dave?
A dumb game.
Yeah, the stupid game. It's time, baby. So, Alex, this has been a wonderful conversation. As tends to happen with these things, we still have easily 2 days worth of material to work through, and that's 2 full 48-hour recording sessions. So that's all you're on the hook for. We'll get the next one set up soon. But on the other side of this, we're going to play a ridiculous game. It's going to be the battle of Alexes. Alex Touche has home court advantage against Dylan Cuellar, and it's going to be good times. So take us to that commercial break, and we'll see you on the other side.
Sounds good.
From day one, community has been at the heart of New Mexico United. This state, these people, this culture is in our DNA. United has always been more than a sports team, and victory has always been more than 3 points. With everything we do, we are dedicated to creating positive outcomes for every New Mexican. It's time for us to double down on that mission. Introducing the Somos Unidos Foundation, our commitment to the future in our state, to the future of our community, and to our belief that we are all united. Somos Unidos.
Welcome to the Cinnamon Cafe Wrap It Up section of United Sessions. We're in the home stretch now, and probably to some people the funniest stretch. Before we get into this ridiculousness, friend of the show, friend of Lucas, Tina McNeely has said, Meow Wolf costume decided. Can I borrow your red corduroy pants, Lucas? Absolutely, but only if Kaylin dresses up as the small child whose basketball I absolutely rejected off the backboard. It's an easy stipulation. Here's a tough one for you, Touche, before we jump into it. Who's your favorite cousin?
No comment. No, but Dylan, thank you for watching. Appreciate the love.
It definitely helped to move up the charts. I mean, how many of the other ones are here representing, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, he's very high up there.
All right, Dave, I did not send you these questions, so I'm going to have to read all of them to Alex and Dylan, but I think you can still occupy just an absolutely crucial role here, which is making fun of them if they miss any of these.
I can do that.
This should be a straight run, and we're going to let Alex Touche go first, so he should win, okay, because there's 7 questions, and the first 1 to 4 wins. And do you know why I'm playing this cruel format, Dylan?
Yeah.
So something called the NBA Finals. Okay, the Phoenix Suns are the best team. We don't need to play 7 games. Give them the freaking title. Okay, this is nonsense.
They've only won 2 games, dude.
Getting heated.
Yeah.
Well,
guys,
Tim Backus and Tyler are massive Bucks fans, so they would have some problem with that.
Well, you should ask them. You should ask them how the Eastern Conference Final went last year. Go Heat.
Yeah. And also, you could tell them I'm going to come down there and fight them both simultaneously, right? They don't want this heat.
That'll go well.
Suns. Yeah, it's going to end well for me. Anyway, we're going to show down in the battle of Alex's. These are the easiest Alex questions on the face of the earth. I know this because I took the quiz and I got them all right. So if I can get them all right, someone from Wharton and someone with the gigantic brain that Dylan Cuellar has ought to be able to do the same. All right, Touche, you're up first. He invented the metal detector in the telephone.
Oh, goodness. Is that Alexander Bell?
Yes. I want to take a point off because you didn't say Graham. That seems like that's a part of his identity, but you're actually absolutely right. It's Alexander Graham Bell. You got the first name, the last name.
The middle name?
Hey, that's his identity, okay?
That's his identity,
It's my job to make fun of you.
Identity into. Who knows? Maybe he didn't like his middle name.
It's my job to make fun of you. So, ha.
Good job.
Hey,
Dylan Cuellar, who was the king of Macedonia who reigned from 336 to 323 BC?
Alexander the Great.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sensing a theme.
Did you already pick up on it?
Because
you could have got it from the title of the game, which was the Battle of the Alexes.
Context clues, Wharton Business School.
Well, I was thinking I'm Alex, but Dylan's not, so that's a little...
No, it's in reference to the theme of the game, not the players.
No, I realize that.
Alex, who was the longtime host of Jeopardy who recently passed away?
Alex Trebek. I'm actually a big Jeopardy fan. I'm reading his biography right now.
Hey, Dave, what did Alex Touche do wrong right there?
He did not answer in the form of the question. There it is. There it is.
We'll still allow it because Alex always gave him one, right? So we'll give you that one. All right, Dill, you got one of the harder ones, but I believe in you, buddy. Okay? He's the French author of The Count of Monte Cristo and The Three Musketeers.
Alexander Desplat.
Whoa, like Jeopardy rules? I'm gonna have to say no. That's messed up on that pronunciation. That's not right.
Oh, okay.
You want to say it again? Maybe you glitched. Say it one more time.
Don't know if I've ever actually heard it pronounced.
Can
at
we
least
steal?
In my memory. Yeah, you could steal. You could go.
Is it Alexander Dumas?
That is correct. Yeah, Dumas. Dill. Man.
There are worse ways to pronounce that last name, actually. So
it's the pronunciation that you're referring to, Dave, is what my parents often referred to me as. So I'm familiar with that. Hey, Touche, who was the first United States Secretary of the Treasury?
Oh, that's the easy one. Alexander Hamilton.
You need to sing it.
Excuse me. Yeah, you need to answer that in the form of a song, actually.
Yeah.
My name is Alexander Hamilton.
There it is.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah.
I think you're more of a King George type, to be honest, but that's fine.
All right.
I'll be back.
There it is.
Folks, sign up today. If we can raise $10,000 for the Somos Unidos Foundation, Alex Touche will put on a one-man show of Hamilton for all of us. He's clearly got the chops.
I would be happy to.
He's very much a Hercules Mulligan.
Dylan Cuellar, who is the longtime manager of Manchester United. You don't get anything else beyond
that. Shoot, why am I blanking on his name?
Oh my God, you're fired.
Dylan, this is the time to just take all these feelings.
This is a soccer podcast.
Just bring it down, okay? You got this.
Fergie.
Right.
Alex
yes.
Ferguson.
Yes.
Excuse me, that is Sir Alex
Alex
Ferguson. Put some respect on that man's name.
He was the coach of United. I'm not giving him any respect.
Now,
Oof.
a lot of people are like,
one of the greatest coaches of all time.
He is the greatest coach of all time, but
does Lucas mostly screw around on these questions? And the answer is yes, but only when it relates to the things that don't matter. When it really matters, I pose hard ones. And so I think Touche has a chance here because he loves numbers, but I don't know how much he loves baseball.
Okay.
It's not looking great if it's a baseball.
So you're going to be able to steal Dylan. We'll have no tiebreaker, and you will have washed with Alex Touche.
Okay.
Touche, who's the youngest baseball player to ever hit 500 home runs?
Oh, come on.
This is the easiest one so far.
No, it's not, you dork.
Young.
You Alexander Dumas.
Yeah, I think I stole that. So aren't I already on 4?
No, you're on 3.
Ooh.
No, I think he's right.
But
He's
anyway,
on 4.
I do not know the answer to this one.
Hold on a second. Hold on. 1, 2,
I only
3.
have about 5 baseball players in my mind. So
No, this is the worst thing ever. Okay.
No.
I set this up in such a way. Let's see. You got that one. That one.
This is high quality podcast, folks.
No, it's over. I'm sorry.
Oof.
Dang.
Dylan, go ahead and flex because you know the answer to this and make it 4-3.
Hey, Rod. Alexander Rodriguez.
Yeah.
come on. Yeah, I should have known that one.
Yep.
All right.
Even
It's
your
Alex.
cousin says so.
Hold on.
He's a baseball guy. He's a baseball guy. He's actually a Red Sox fan, so he wouldn't be happy with that one.
Look,
No.
I failed big time there, Dave. Okay, like Alex Touche actually won when he got Hamilton right. There shouldn't have been any proceedings after that.
Here's the thing, Lucas. The first game you ever play where I'm not involved, this is what happens.
Crap.
Just know that for future reference, I carry this podcast.
100%.
I expect to be compensated as such.
Every once in a while, I get a little big for my britches, Dave, and I'm just like, I think I can do this. I think I can run this rodeo.
Your
And then I
britches
realize
your
I'm
britches
just
are
a
small.
clown.
Your britches are small and made of corduroy, red corduroy.
That's right. And when it comes to running the rodeo, I'm just a clown. You're the big boss, my man. So,
Don't you forget it.
yeah, lesson learned. All right, let's jump into my favorite part of the podcast, which is where we all tell our favorite parts of the podcast. Let's start with you, Dylan.
I liked not getting Alexander Dumas.
What did you actually say? Like, I didn't hear that at all.
Desplot, which
Plot.
That's not just pronounced wrong. That's just the wrong name.
composer. It's a composer.
Was it John Travolta who just viciously mispronounced that actress?
Yeah, but he mispronounced it. Desplot is a film composer, and that's obviously where my mind is.
Oh,
95% of
I'm
the time.
sorry, Dylan. I didn't know you were in a deep dive of film composers.
What does-
I'm
does-
not going to make fun of you for that.
Does he know? Does he work with Michael Scorsese? Long-time listeners of the pod will get that one. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Starting to work the inside jokes.
Yeah.
Touche, what was your favorite part, brother?
My favorite part was seeing Mr. Dylan Cuellar again.
Oh,
And
it's nice to see you too, Alex.
So
Throws me back.
I'm very glad you're on the podcast tonight. And
Me too.
thank you for having me on. I had a wonderful time with all 3 of you. So
We're
thank
doing
you
a
for
sign-
everyone who listened.
We're doing a scientific study to see if we are a good luck charm. So, in the event you get in the rotation in the next couple of days and something amazing happens, we just ask that you attribute it entirely to hanging out with us.
And remember the whole thing I said about compensation.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave is really in it for the compensation tonight. Dave, besides compensation opportunities, what was your favorite part of the night?
I think my favorite part of the night was talking about that time that I beat David Estrada at basketball. Either that or the time where I got thoroughly rinsed by both Alex Touche, Devin Sandoval, and Devin Sandoval's young daughter at jogging. Either of those, I think, just really kind of run the gambit of my athletic prowess.
I don't know if it's actually in the like international Olympic rules, like if someone can carry you and if you finish before other people, you beat them. But like in my book, Liana beat you.
Oh no, that's not. It's not just in a book. That's factually accurate.
Yep.
She beat me, and she earned it. She deserved it, and I deserved what I got, which is probably. I think I started toward the front of the group and finished very close to the back of it. So, you know.
My favorite part is just sort of out loud, like almost stream of consciousness, portraying all my proudness of Alex. Like we've known each other a long time. He's been
proudness is not a word. You think of pride.
Pride.
Pride in Alex.
Sorry, we can't all go to Wharton. Alex, sorry, you probably knew that.
Proudness.
Proudness is a word of non-existence. But yeah, just my absolute pride in this young man, what he's done, how amazing it is to just know him. And then on top of that, my second favorite part is doing really, really awkward plugs for partners that we think are amazing. And a partner that we think is more amazing than anyone else is Cinnamon Cafe. And guess what, friends? It's here. We teased it weeks ago, folks. The burrito punch card is real. Buy 10 burritos from Cinnamon Cafe. You will get your 11th for free. And every time you punch one of these cards, you're hooking up the United front office because they love us and they love promoting things together. So go get your cards. Dave, where are they available?
They are available at Cinnamon Cafe in Nob Hill and Cinnamon Cafe over in the Northeast Heights. That's at Eubank and Wantabo, Central and Carlisle, and you can get them over at the New Mexico United shop, also on Central and Carlisle.
So excited about this initiative. I think we're probably going to eat them out of house and home when it comes to burritos. Dave, you got yours, 2 days ago, and somehow miraculously you have 4 punches?
Yes. That felt like a judgmental. That felt like a judgmental question. I'm going to be really honest. That's
mean questioning because it was just because you bought burritos for your friends. Dave, folks, if you're worried about him, max 1 burrito a day. I haven't seen him on the weekends.
My arteries are not clogged.
Not at all. Not at all. They're freshly coursing with red chili. So yes, thank you to Cinnamon. I hope that you continue to just watch this segment with a grain of salt and be proud in your sponsorship of it. I promise there's some good things in here and we get that all out there. Any house cleaning that we need to do, Dave, before we let our esteemed guests go and move on with the day?
I want to thank Alex and Dylan for hanging out with us today. Dylan, you hang out with us every week, but it's cool to see you on the front side as always. Alex, best of luck this week in San Antonio. You have an entire state cheering for you. So we're excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, hopefully win off thought in a row. So
let's do it.
Good luck, Sean. We need it.
Let's do it.
Oh, but Dave, just real quick, we'd be a little bit remiss. All of us are sending all of our love to our beloved Sam Hamilton. We think you're the best.
Yes.
We're rooting for you, and whatever any of us can do to have your back, you let us know. Yeah, just like Ilya Illich showed us in the goal celebration, we're all behind you, brother. So, yeah, that's the final note from me, brother.
All right. Again, if you can, rate, subscribe, download, all that kind of fun stuff, review. And again, we're excited for Wednesday night against San Antonio on the road. But until then, Lucas, Somos Unidos.
We are united.